to your social class. This is your social teacher before you. How are you all? Happy? Good and healthy. Very good, children. See, before starting this video, I would like to say something regarding our class. Right. See, I want to give two tips to you to remember it. See, many of you children, not only you, many of you thinking that social class is boring. And that too history, my God. Okay, see, that kind of people I would like to tell two tips to remember perfectly. Right. So first thing is, you have to like the subject. First important this is, you have to like it. Second thing is, you have to remember as a story, especially history part. When you like the subject, happily you can remember it in your mind. Second thing is, when you remember as a story, when you link up with each and every point, you can remember perfectly. For example, Bahubali. Why every time I am taking Bahubali movie? Meanwhile, because it's completely related to kings and kingdoms. Am I correct or not? So that's why I am taking Bahubali movie. So past 3-4 years back, the Bahubali 1 and 2 was released. But till now, we are remember each and every scene and back dialogues of the movie. How could we remember? Because we like the movie. Am I correct or not? So we like the movie, that's why we remember. So that's why I'm saying you have to remember, especially history as a story. When you keep it, link up with each and every point, you happily can remember in your mind. Okay, yes, come to the point. Now, today's our class is the Cholas. The Cholas. The Cholas, actually, this is a sub-topic of the new kings and kingdoms children. Right. The Cholas were well-documented story in Indian history. One of the well-documented history in Indian history, right? And Cholas belongs to South India. See, are you seeing half of the map of India, children? And this is South India. Are you seeing? This is South India. And did you notice this dotted? And complete this area belongs to Cholas. Right, Cholas dynasty. Right, and here these Cholas, how their successful journey was. How their successful journey was in South India. Let us see. Right. See, Chola's journey, I would like to say with the help of 3 points, with the help of points children. So first one is from Urayuru to Tanjavur. Urayuru to Tanjavur. See, let us see where the places are. Are you seeing my writing is very small because the board is not sufficient for me to draw the picture, children. Please adjust here. So here, are you seeing Pallavas? This is Pallavas. Pallavas are taking capital city, Kanchi, and started their ruling. Pallavas dynasty or Pallavas kingdom, complete this. Second, Tanjavur. And here the Tanjavur was present in Kaveri Delta region, and it was ruled by Mutturayar. Who? Mutturayar. Next, are you seeing one more dot here? Urayur. And this Urayur ruled by Vijayalaya. And down you see Pandyas in south of Tamil Nadu. Pandyas you can see. Pandyas also one of the kingdom. And here, Kerala region, we can see Cheras. This is also one of the dynasty. Right. So, all these belongs to South India. First, Cholas belongs to Urayur. Right. From Urayur to Tanjavur. Tanjavur means beside itself. Very small kingdom. How they captured. From there, their journey was started, and maximum 80% of South India was captured by Cholas. Right. First you see, Mutturayar. Mutturayar is a small chief family, and he implemented his ruling in Kaveri Delta. Where is the Kaveri river? Are you seeing the curved line, children? Curved line. And this line is Kaveri, river Kaveri. And meanwhile here he constructed his kingdom. Mutturayar built or held his kingdom in Kaveri Delta. Remember, very important. Next, Vijayalaya. Who is this? Vijayalaya. Vijayalaya was ancient ruler of Chola family. Right, and he belongs to Urayur, right. And next, what happened? Vijayalaya was captured Tanjavur. Mutturayar's kingdom. Vijayalaya captured Mutturaya's kingdom. Right. And what happened after his victory? See, remember that in history, every king, either king or queen, most probably kings only, after his war, when he victored, okay, and definitely they constructed some towns, either towns or cities or temples. Okay, why they are constructing like that? To show their victory. To show their victory of the king. Did you get my point? So it's the constructions are symbolizing their victory. Did you get my point? So like that, Vijayalaya also to symbolize his victory on Mutturayar, he was constructed the town of Tanjavur. Right, and also a temple. He constructed goddess temple, and the temple name was Nishamba Sudhini temple. Nishamba Sudhini is actually goddess temple. This too was constructed by Vijayalaya. Clear? So after that, the successors of Vijayalaya, means after Vijayalaya, who came for ruling, they were extended their kingdom. They extended their kingdom and completely from north to south. And north side Pallavas were there and south side Pandyas were there. They extended and they captured these two kingdoms also and made these two kingdoms under their kingdom. It's a part of their kingdom. Did you get my point? Means Cholas captured Pallavas kingdom as well as Pandyas also. Now extension over there. Right. And one point I did not say here, Mutturayar, I said no, Tanjavur. Mutturayar was Samantas of Pallavas, subordinates of Pallavas. Right. So slowly Vijayalaya captured Mutturayar. After Vijayalaya, who were successors of Vijayalaya, captured Pallavas as well as Pandyas. Now Raja 1 came for ruling. Raja 1 came for ruling in 985 AD and treated him, considered as a powerful Chola dynasty, as a powerful ruler in Cholas. Who is a powerful person in Cholas? Raja 1. He came for ruling 985 AD. See what he did. Completely he reorganized the administrative system. Right. See, if any king, or now you take present situation, if any ruler came for ruling of the country, definitely they implemented their own methods, administrative methods and policies. For example, if you take our Andhra Pradesh, right, Andhra Pradesh, previously Telugu Desam party was taken over the state, means they ruled our state. Now present YSRCP, Jagan sir, okay, YSRCP party came for ruling. But when YSRCP came for ruling, completely he reorganized all the policies. They implemented their own policies and administrative system. It's common here. Okay, so like that here also they implemented who? Raja 1 reorganized all the administrative policies in Chola's dynasty. Right, Chola's kingdom. Next, after Raja 1, Rajendra 1 came for ruling. And who is this fellow? Raja 1 was the son of Raja 1. Rajendra 1. Rajendra 1 was the son of Raja 1. And this Rajendra 1, what he followed the same policies which his dad implemented already. And he also very strong person. he started his successful journey from Ganga Valley, which is present in India. So after that, he went out of the country to capture other kingdoms. See, as Sri Lanka, it is out of our country. It is also captured by Rajendra I. Next, Southeast Asian countries he captured. Southeast Asian countries captured by Rajendra I. Okay. So to show this victory, Rajendra I constructed Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Gangaikonda Cholapuram. It is a town, children, constructed by Rajendra I. And here he constructed even a temple also. What temple? Gangaikonda Cholapuram temple. I will show children where it is. Are you seeing the picture? Are you seeing this picture? This is Gangaikonda Cholapuram temple. Okay. And before him, his dad came for ruling. No. He also constructed a temple that is in Tanjavur, Brihadishwara temple. Are you seeing this? Brihadishwara. How beautiful it is, see? Brihadishwara temple. Right. Such a big temple, children. So every person who came for ruling after his victory, definitely they constructed a town as well as a temple also. Right. So Rajendra I also constructed Gangaikonda Cholapuram and temple, right? Temple also. And here, when extended the other countries, they needed navy also. Okay, because ocean is there, out of the country, Indian Ocean is there. Okay, they have to cross it. That's why they needed navy. So that's why Rajendra I implemented navy, developed navy to capture other countries. Okay, next. Second thing is splendid temples and bronze sculptures. So like that, from Urayuru to Tanjavur they extended. Okay, it is over. Next, splendid temples and bronze sculptures. Splendid temples. So just now I showed two pictures. Okay, which is constructed by Rajaraja I and Rajendra also. Their temples were, we can see the beautiful architecture as well as the idols. What idols? Bronze idols or bronze images we can see. See, these bronze images are considered as a world finest images. See what quality it has. Till now very famous in the world, children. Chola's bronze idols are very famous in the world. Okay, now like that they constructed. And here the importance of the temple, if you take, these temples are nuclei centers. And it is what we can say, it is a main point to extend surrounding villages. Means the temple is enhancing the settlements of villages. And this temple had some acres of land, the land grants given by kings, donated by the kings or others also, from other people also. And these endowed this land and earning huge money. With this money, what the people are doing? With the money, the maintenance of temple as well as they are taking care of surrounding villages also. Right. See how they are taking care, how they are implementing livelihood to the people, to the villagers. Temple, how can it give the livelihood for them? I will say. See here, to maintain the temple, many people is needed. Right. To clean the temple, cleaners must be there, priests will be there, musicians will be there, dancers will be there, singers will be there, and the craft persons also needed. Am I correct or not? So cleaners, all these people needed for the temple maintenance. Right. And here, so like that, the temples are not only for the worshipping place, and it's a hub of social, economical, cultural hub. Temples became social, economic and cultural hubs. Did you get my point? Understand? providing livelihood, providing income for the people. Okay, and culture, it representing culture of our country. Right. Next, bronze sculptures are one more beautiful, marvelous thing which is present under in temple system. Right. These association, craft association, bronze images craft association were preparing huge number of images with bronze. So under that, deities over there and devotees also were there. Okay. Next, agriculture and irrigation. That is about splendid temples and bronze sculptures, children. And sculptures I want to show you. Okay. See how beautiful it is. So beautiful, children. So beautiful. See, observe it. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing? So beautiful. See, each and every thing they highlighted. See, earrings, even top of the head, earrings and jewelry, bangles, finger rings, and even dress. Everything is highlighted by the craft person. Great. See, we have to hats off for them. Our Indian crafts are super crafts. Right. Now come to the agriculture and irrigation. See, before Cholas, means before 7th century, 4th and 5th centuries, agriculture also were present in those areas in South India, but not well developed. When Cholas came for ruling, they implemented new methods in irrigation, in agriculture sector. Understand? So what they implemented, new method, I will show you. See, shall I rub this? Are you seeing these areas? Okay, because we need now we need river Kaveri. I will show you where it is. Okay, right. So this is river Kaveri. When it is going to be joined with Bay of Bengal, complete this area. I hope you know it. Here Bay of Bengal is there. Bay of Bengal is present. Complete this area. I think you know it, right? So when this river Kaveri is submerging with the Bay of Bengal and are empty with the Bay of Bengal, it split into streams. Streams means small rivers. Split into pieces. Are you seeing these pieces? Right. Okay. And the huge water will be wasted. Did you get my point? And these areas are continuously getting floods with this river. All these points were observed by the Cholas and implemented new methods. What they implemented new methods? Right. See, first one, the overflow of water. This overflow of water from river Kaveri, they diverted to the fields. They were diverted into fields so that they are using the wastage of water. Second thing is this area which is middle of the streams, this triangular shape is called as delta. What it called as deltas. So these rivers are sending sand, silt, pebbles and all the dust particles and make it fertile. The delta become fertile land and the lands are very much rich of nutrients and useful for paddy cultivation. Any kind of cultivation we can do it, but paddy it is suitable perfectly for paddy cultivation. So that's why they used these delta areas for paddy cultivation. Next new method is these delta regions are getting flood effect every time. To control the flood water, they constructed embankment. They constructed walls to control the flood effect. Okay. Next, what they implemented? So like that, useful manner. The water they used in useful manner and they did not wasted the water. Right. So after that, they cleaned some forest region and that region used it for cultivation. The uneven land made into level and used it for agriculture. Right. So such kind of new methods implemented by Chola kings and they become prosperous. They become prosperous. Okay, this situation was present where the water facility is there in Chola dynasty. And what about other areas? See, if you observe, we have we have Deccan area, children. Deccan. What Deccan? Deccan Plateau is there. Understand? So half of this Cholas area belongs to Deccan area. Deccan area. So this Deccan area, the water facility is less. Then in such regions, what they implemented for agriculture, what kind of irrigation facilities they provided, I will show you. So artificial canals. For example, in Kurnool, what canal? Oh, KC canal. Kurnool and Kadapa canals are provided. Those were artificial canals. Through these canals, they are providing water. And second thing is wells, digging well. Okay, if they digging well, they get the water, right? And third thing is tanks. Oh, big tanks. These tanks were used for collecting rainwater. So all these three are artificial canals, wells and tanks were used to provide the water facility for agriculture land in Deccan areas or uplands. Okay, see who is taking care of? See, all these three have to maintain, children. Otherwise, what happened? Did you remember in third lesson, tanks and groundwater? They become declined. So that is why they decline? Poor maintenance. So that's why to maintain these three water facilitators, villagers voluntarily they coming forward and they took active participation to maintain all this, and they become prosperous. Next, administration of empire. Administration of Chola's empire. So here to administrate, they needed very strong staff. So staff nothing but council of ministers to run the country, to run the kingdom. Supporters must be there. Who are that? So council of ministers and strong army and navy. These two are giving support for the administration of the empire. So Cholas were divide their kingdom into provinces or mandalas and subdivided into Valanadus and Nadus. Three divisions, children. Mandalams, Valanadus and Nadus. Right. What we can say? How we can divide it like that? For example, state. Right. State, district, mandals. Remember like that. So like that they divided their provinces, their kingdom into three pieces. One is Mandalams, Valanadus and Nadus. Okay. And Nadus are very important part of empire. These Nadus are run by village councils and Nadus. These two people are taking care of the Nadus and providing all the amenities, collecting taxes as well as judiciary also. Sometimes they are settlement, they are taking decisions regarding Nadus also. Next, here in Nadus, I am saying about Nadus, remember. So in Nadus, under Nadu, many villages over there, Just now I said no, Mandalam consists of many villages, no. So like that, Nadu is also consisting of many villages. So in village, settlements of peasants. Peasants will be there, no. Their settlements are called as Ur. Okay, all together these villages make a Nadu. Okay, and after that, the authority of this Nadu is was given to Vellala caste. These Vellala caste people are rich peasant. Though also peasant, but rich peasants. Okay, so here these are poor peasants and these are rich peasants. Okay, next, many different people were there in kingdom. What the kind of people are present? Rich landowners. They given titles to them. Who given? Kings were given title to rich landlords. Okay, what were the titles to them? Movendavallen. Movendavallen. What is that? Movendavallen. Movendavallen is nothing but he is a superior of, he is a working under 3 kings. He is responsible to 3 kings. Okay, next. Second title is Arayar. Arayar means head. Arayar, head of that area. These two are the titles given to rich landowners by Cholas kings. Right. Next, trader association will be there. Trader association, every center, every point. Okay, craft association will be there and trading association will be there. So here trading associations are called as Nagaram. Here these associations consist of some powers given by kings. They also maintain some works, some administrative works there to collect the taxes, imposing taxes, maintain law and order. Okay, they are taking care of the people. So like that they are also taking administration works. Next, all these areas, these sabhas, even in the village as well as mandal, as well as Valanadus or Nadus or any village, sabhas are going on. Sabha is a very important point for taking decisions. Right, how the village panchayats are going on, how the assemblies are going on, how the parliament sessions are going on. So like that, in those times, Sabha and Samiti were going on. And how they conducted Sabhas? Are they eligible, everyone? Everyone is eligible for the Sabha? No, not like that. To go to for the people, I mean, some qualities must be there to a person to lead, to join in the Sabha, as a member of the Sabha. You get my point? To go to as a member of Sabha, a person must have some qualities. What were the qualities? That person have some land. How much of land? They have to pay the revenue. Revenue? Land revenue. That much huge land must be there. Second thing is, own house must be there. The age between 35 to 70 must be there. And he has the much knowledge of Vedas. And he has the experience of administration system. And he should not have any bad background of him. Right, next. Any relatives of the person should not enter into accusing or any cases. They should not present in those cases. All these qualities must be there to a member of Sabha. These kind of people are selected for the Sabha and run the Sabhas for the village, for the mandals, Nadus, Valanadus and Nadus. Right. And who is saying all these points? We don't know. How can we say inscriptions are giving the matter of the Sabha, how the Sabha was running out in those times. And inscription is present, Uttaramerur inscription. Uttaramerur inscription. It is present in Chengalpattu district in Tamil Nadu. What it's saying that? It's saying how the Sabhas were going on. Right. So in the Sabha, how all this selection also must be there. Qualities must have the person and selections also must be there. Selection is nothing but election. Okay. So all these selected person, not selected person, what we can say? Qualities having the person, eligible persons. These eligible persons' name had written on the leaf, pea leaf and dipping into the pot. Okay. So all names, nearly 20-30 names are written on the leaf and just throw into the pot. One young person, a small boy have to come there and he have to pick up the leaves. And the pick-upping is nothing but selection. Pick-upping, nothing but the selection. Okay, finally, through this selection, the Sabhas will be start. Okay, everything is saying. So, Cholas used to give granting lands to different people. Understand? So they are giving gift to the Brahmins, non-Brahmins, Jains for some temples, schools like that. But every donation they used to kept a name, children. What are the names for the lands? Here, Vellan Vangai. Vellan Vagai, it's a name. Vellan Vagai. It's a land name, donating land name given to non-Brahmins. Okay, non-Brahmins. Which land is given to non-Brahmins? Called as Vellan Vagai. Right. Next, Brahmadeya. Brahmadeya, it's a land which is given to Brahmins. Brahmadeya. Next, Salabhoga. Salabhoga, it's a land given to schools, donating to school. Devadana. Devadana is a land, talk of land or piece of land which is given to, donating to temples. Next, Palli Chandam. Palli Chandam is a land which is donating to Jain institutions. Jain institutions. So all these lands are granted by, are given or donated by Chola kings. Chola's kings. Next, many inscriptions we have seen here. All these inscriptions are said about the rich people, king and traders, rich people, sabha and samitis. And what about the ordinary people? Is there any evidence here? Is there any inscription? Yeah. Here they also given a small book, that is Periya Puranam. What book? Periya Puranam. Periya Puranam is it's a work of 12th century. 12th century, and completely it is saying about ordinary men and women of Tamil Nadu. How the people life from morning to night, how they woke up, right? So what kind of animals are herding and how they are leading life, everything is written in that book. Okay, so if we see the houses of ordinary people, houses will not be there. Okay, huts. The huts are constructed with the thatched house with the sticks and everything. In front of house, we can see small chicks are moving here and there, and even dogs we can see, right? And cocks are giving his voice before in the morning. And with the sound of cock, the people used to get up and they start their works for that day. Okay, and small kids, even women also taking part of non-householding work. And she is also used to go outside and work in the fields. At the time, small kids will be there to the mothers. And these small kids are keeping a shade of big plants and taking back to their works. Right. See, every time they are using to sing different songs based on the work, children. We can see all these things there. Nowadays, no one is singing. Am I correct or not? But if we go backside, our grandmas or mom, when they were working, in those times, every time, by singing they used to work. When they are harvesting the crop, they used to sing. When they are working in the house, they are used to sing. When they are taking food, giving food to the child, used to sing. Every time they sing. And here also in our textbook, they giving, when they are singing, when they husk the paddy, husking the paddy, means what we can say, husking, removing the seed from the shell. Did you get paddy? Have you seen? No. Paddy shell will be there. So when removing the shell from removing the seed from the shell is nothing but husking method. When they are doing that time, they used to sing, right? But we did not see all these things. Nowadays, many machines are available. So with the help of machines, we are getting the rice ready to cook. Am I correct or not? But in those times, they are singing. They are enjoying. They are working by singing. They are enjoying with the song. Okay, so one song from there, from movies. It is I too also did not hear, but I took from a movie, old movies. Understand? I am trying to say that I am trying to sing. I think it's just you listen, right? When the husking time, husking of paddy time, right? అత్తాలేని కోడలుత్తమురాలు ఓయమా కోడలేని అత్త గుణవంతురాలు ఆహుం ఆహుం కోడల కోడల కొడుకు పెళ్ళమా ఓలమ్మ గట్టి పాడ మీద మీగడేదమ్మా ఆ వేడి పాల మీద వెన్నలేదమ్మా ఆహుం ఆహుం. Just for fun, children, just for fun. Okay, so this is a one example when the husking of paddy they used to sing. Yeah, that's all today's class, children. Hoping you enjoyed with the video, and don't forget this to subscribe the video, children. Okay, every time I'm saying that. Okay, subscribe, just touch the subscribing button, you get the bell, hit it, so that you can get the all notifications of my new video. Okay, till then, take care. Bye bye, children.